Welcome back to Tim and Sid. Of course, Game 7 still on the tip of everyone's tongue. We'll also get you to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Ramona Shelburne will join us, and Caron Butler, an NBA champion in 2011, will get us set for Raptors Warriors Game 6 from Oakland.
The greatest night in St. Louis Blues history happened last night in Boston. A lot of former Blues were in one of the private boxes. Boy, it looked like they were enjoying themselves.
Yes.
One of those men joining us, Hockey Hall of Famer Chris Pronger on the phone. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Very good.
I don't need specifics. We're a family show. How late was the party? Is the party still going?
I think the players are still partying, from what I understand. I went right home after we got in, but from what I understand, the boys went over to Scott Enterprise Center for a check-in over there, and then they went to a bar, and they're still there.
Still going. No wonder we asked a bunch of people to come on the show today, and apparently we were pleasantly declined. They might still be going.
I don't think they're in any shape to be on the radio.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for doing it. Appreciate it, Chris, as always.
They're channeling their inner Alexander Ovechkin.
Aren't we all at one point or another?
I'd like to, in a midlife crisis, try that one more time. So, Chris, as the clock winds down, it wasn't that kind of game. You knew for a while St. Louis was going to get it done. As the clock's winding down, what were you thinking?
I was just excited for the ownership group, for the city, for the fans, the organization. 52 years is a long time since the inception, and they hadn't been to the finals in 49 years. So, it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of good teams here over the years, and for whatever reason, haven't been able to get it done. But something about this team, having gone through the different adversities that they've had to go through, have stepped up to the plate and played extremely well, and were able to accomplish a childhood dream for a lot of them. And it's something that with our team in Florida, we can look at it and realize that you can turn your season around with something that they've done here in St. Louis, and last place January 3rd, and now they're Stanley Cup champions. It's a pretty impressive story.
It's funny. I often talk about how fine the line can be in sports. Can you explain something like that to a pair of Joes sitting on a desk in Toronto? How a team goes from being dead last to being able to flip the switch and look as good as they did once they flipped that switch?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Obviously, the coaching change, the style of play, accountability, and defining one's role on the team and what's expected of you, and all the rest of that stuff. It's I think Craig Berube did a masterful job in getting guys to buy into how he wanted them to play, and I think as players, you want to know where you sit with your coach and what's required of you in order to get more playing time. And I think he's been very upfront with them about that, and I think their play speaks to that.
Right.
Chris, when you look at what just happened here, what sticks out to you as the craziest thing? Is it Binnington's emergence, the 10-3 road record in the playoffs? What do you look at, and with all your experience in the game, you say to yourself, I can't believe that happened?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of winning 3 games in Boston in the Stanley Cup Finals. Binnington, I think, throughout the course of the regular season, made believers out of people. And I think you see the way, I think he handles the puck very, very well and was able to take a lot of pressure off their defense core because of that. So little things like that I think get overlooked. But clearly, I mean, a goalie that wasn't even, was loaned to the Bruins last year in Providence, and then, had been up and down from the East Coast League to the AHL, and really was called up because Ville Husso was hurt at the time, and they needed another goalie, and I guess they figured, well, we'll give this kid a shot, and look what he's done with it. It's amazing what happens when you get a shot, right?
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
The rest is history. Hey, we were showing pictures of Enterprise and Busch Stadium, and you know that market well. I've compared the fan base in St. Louis and what they've been able to produce hockey-wise in terms of talent to kind of the basketball fan base in Toronto, where everyone starts to realize just how good a market it is. Can you explain to Canada how that market has grown and how much they have grown to love hockey?
Yeah, I think a big, and I think that's one of the reasons why they had a bunch of alumni there. I think I think the ownership group and the organization realize what the alumni have done in the city of St. Louis for minor hockey and hockey in general. And you see a lot of former players coaching kids and teaching the game. And you look at Jeff Brown, what he's done with his two boys, and obviously Keith Tkachuk and Al McInnes and Basil McRae and Rob Ramage and all these guys. They've been able to provide good coaching for these kids and allowed them to realize their dreams or realize that there could be a dream of playing hockey, playing in St. Louis, Missouri. And to see kind of when I first got here in 1995 to where the minor hockey system's at now, it's pretty impressive.
Chris, I know it was a fun night. We do appreciate the time. Congratulations. I feel like congratulating anyone who's had anything to do with the St. Louis Blues, considering what just happened. And
I didn't do anything. I just sat there.
You kind of did. Guys laid the groundwork. You and Brett and a lot of guys did. And we appreciate the time. So thanks for this, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.